Welcome, everybody. Now, one of the things that a lot of us like to do around Christmas time is to watch movies, and we like kind of old movies. This is my favourite Christmas movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Nothing beats it. You can argue all you like, but that is just a wonderful movie, full of fantasy, but mostly it's full of our joys and the hopes. It talks about perceived failure. It talks about disappointments. It talks about the hardness of life, that things really often just don't happen as you expect. And yet behind it, you see that there is more played out than we believe, more than we understand. And part of it is played out is this whole idea that actually God is watching, that God is listening, that God actually cares. We might not see it played out the way we think it should be played out and we think life should go, but God is there behind it. And of course there's the angel that or the depiction of the angel that we see in It's a Wonderful Life. Not sure what you think about that particular thing, but it's a characterization. And yet when we look at where do we find angels, well, we find them surrounding the story of Jesus. And Luke, of course, writes quite a lot about them. So let me go from Luke chapter 1. And this is to Zechariah. Zechariah and his wife Elizabeth had a miraculous birth themselves. Elizabeth was old and couldn't conceive, but God miraculously did, and John the Baptist was born, cousin of Jesus, and he was the one that was going to kind of prepare the way. He was the one that was going to announce the coming of Jesus. He was going to be the one to say, look, here is the one that's been promised. Zechariah was shaken and overwhelmed with fear when he saw him. That's the angel. But the angel said, don't be afraid, Zechariah. God has heard your prayer. Your wife, Elizabeth, will give you a son, and you are to name him John. And I want us to understand that actually God hears our prayers. And just like in that story of It's a Wonderful Life, it doesn't work out, nothing seems to work out as he'd planned as a young man, that where he was going to go off, he was going to go and travel the world, he was going to do this, he was going to do that, and yet things didn't work out. But as the story goes and he looks back on his life, he's made to look back on his life, he sees how many interactions he had that changed the course of other people's lives in a very positive way. And whatever happens in our lives, it's very difficult for us to look back and to see what that might be like, what it might have been like if we weren't there. And the interactions are so intense, are so complicated that we wouldn't understand that. And maybe things don't seem to be working out in your life right now, and you think, well, Christmas, humbug, and sure, the kind of all the glitz and all the things that are surrounding it, they're all trappings, but the centre of it all is the love of God, and the fact that God is saying, not only am I involved at Christmas time, but this symbolises the fact that I'm involved with you all the way through your life and always have been involved with you. Maybe we've never prayed. Maybe we've never really called out to God and asked him to be central in our lives. Ask him to lead us and guide us. Ask him to let us know that he's with us. Say, Lord, come on, be the centre of my life and help me to follow you. Open my eyes and let me see what you're actually doing, what's around and what's happening. That's something I'll encourage you to do this Advent time, as we lead up to the coming of Christ, to begin to open yourself up to God. Pray for the things you need. Pray for the things that you want to see happen. Pray for those around you. Pray and see what God says and what God is doing. And maybe it's just a case that God needs to open our eyes Christian, maybe been praying for something for a long time, continue to pray. And I said, God, just give you that revelation, just give you a fresh understanding that He's with you and He's listening to you. God bless you, and enjoy today, day 12 in our lead up to Christmas, and I hope you'll be with me tomorrow, Sunday, which is the 13th, and that God will really speak into your life and bless you.